All right. Welcome back to the Run.down post-game show on the Strickland YouTube channel. And if you're listening to this the day after, Strickland Podcast Network, Knicks win 117 to 114 versus the San Antonio Spurs in what I would say very unpleasant fashion. I would say that, to put it nicely. Very ugly game. And then when you think about who our next opponent is and how much uglier these games can be, then it really puts into perspective what they did today. I mean, a lot of mental lapses, I would say, today during today's game. A lot of randoms just getting hot too. I mean, like randoms in the sense of like I mean, I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, I kind of expected these guys to go off against us, like Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott. Like these were prime, like get your game off in MSG candidates. Like you had the revenge game narrative for Doug McDermott, Josh Richardson, someone that randomly gets hot every like 20 games or whatever. And today was the day he got hot versus the Knicks. But yeah, and I think a lot of what contributed to those guys getting hot was mental lapses on the Knicks end defensively. Was not one of their better games defensively. As you can see, they allowed the Spurs, who are tanking actively, to score 114 points. But yeah, just a very, very ugly game. You're happy they got the win. Shout out to Jalen Brunson with 38 points. Really got a majority of that in the first and fourth quarters, I would say, where he really got cooking. Fourth quarters are always, his time, especially if Julius Randle doesn't have it going. They really just set up a lot of isolations for JB to get cooking. He did that for the most part, I would say. It's still not the most efficient or like aesthetically pleasing or even just like what makes the best sense basketball wise offensively to run at those moments in time. But, with the coach that we have, you got to take what you can get. These are the type of games that make you grateful for, the acquisition of Jalen Brunson and like the cost of it. But yeah, I mean, 38 points, regular season career high. As we know, his playoff career high is 41. But regular season career high, had about 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Him and Randall really took a lot of the brunt of the shots today, and we'll get into that a little bit later. As it relates to other players on the team that can contribute a little bit more if they're allowed to. But yeah, how'd you feel about this game, Tyrese?
I felt like the Spurs, them not getting a shot up in the last 6 seconds, kind of felt like they were just straight up taking. It was like what the heck, like a 5 second without even looking at the bench for a timeout, and then Keldon Johnson going up to like 35 feet, dribbling it off his dick, and then somehow not getting a shot up before the buzzer goes off. Like I tweeted it. I'm like, Pop yelled out Wemby in the huddle, and they just went out there and they did fuck off. So I'm glad the Knicks won. I'm happy that another win happened. I'm happy that Brunson got his game off. But like, man, that was a prison ball. That was the stuff you see at the rec after a night out. Like it was not aesthetically pleasing to watch. And then we have to go to Toronto, and then you guys see
Play
a bunch of dudes with 7 foot wingspans locking their arms together. And besides just go get some off the street, that's what he does. He just gets 6'8" dudes. So this was ugly. It's probably gonna get even uglier in Toronto. Hopefully the Knicks can play a better defense. I thought the defense was really spotty, but hopefully they got it done today, so you can't really complain about it too much.
yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, going through the box score, you see that Brunson and Randall, they really took a majority of the shots, both with 26 and 27 respectively shots. I feel like quickly and Grimes, they could have added a little bit more. They had 14 and 15 points respectively. Um, you know, They were both doing their thing. Shout out to Grimes for that late contest. That really made Keldon Johnson second guess shooting that shot to the point where they didn't get a shot off. But yeah, I think Grimes and Quickly, we've seen what they're capable of doing when Brunson's not there. So I think there's a ability for them to like for the load not to be so much on Jalen Brunson and Randall, especially with RJ out. So I think they can share that load. I don't think those guys need to just be like standing in the corners shooting catch and shoot threes. Like they've shown they can do much more when given the opportunities. And Grimes still has those opportunities where he's like doing stuff off the catch and stuff like that. But it felt more minimized today. It felt like it was a lot of like Jalen Brunson, RJ, not RJ, Julius Randle dominate the ball. And like I said, especially in the fourth quarters, it's just something that's not really. I mean, JB had it going, but like, there's going to be nights where he doesn't, and we've seen nights where he doesn't have it going, and that type of style just it looks very very bad. But we won today. He had it going. He had a career high, so it's going to be a little bit on the back burner in terms of I guess like what people are looking for. But yeah,
At the same time, though, like those guys need to want to take those shots, and I think a large problem that this team is having is like not a lot of guys want to take those shots. I mean, you look at someone like McBride, he only took 2 shots today. Like guys need to be willing to take shots, and I know Grimes is a better trigger than what he showed in this game. But at the same time, we also know that Grimes is somewhat tentative when he's shooting, as albeit from the Dallas game where he was able to put them up. Um, so it's a matter of like maybe these guys are kind of playing for percentages. I don't want to like assume that, but like some guys just don't feel like shooting, especially when like you have really big like auras on the team like Randall and Brunson. You kind of just feel like you want to let them cook and you want to like be there to support them if they need it. But yeah, like someone like Quickly, I think 13 shots is still good for Quickly. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. But this is where you miss RJ, where like RJ is willing to take those shots when nobody else is willing to, and it might hurt his percentages, but at the same time, getting shots up is almost as important as making them. So you miss that production from him, and hopefully he comes back soon. But yeah, like diversifying the offense, I'm all for it, but it's also a matter of like those guys need to be willing to take shots.
well, to the point of them taking shots, I feel like there's not a lot of opportunity, especially when we see these ISO heavy back to back to back to back to back possessions. Like we see possessions where it's just like one guy takes the ball down the court and the possession ends with that guy's ball, and with the guy that had the ball bringing it up, it ends with the ball in his hands as well. So I feel like that's part of the reason why we don't see those guys able to put up shots, because I mean when those guys got their shots today, I mean they pulled them. So I think it's just a matter of like giving them those more opportunities. But again, when JB's here, the shot diets they change for a lot of guys, because as we saw in the fourth quarter today, it becomes a lot of more like let JB cook, let Randall cook, and it worked today, thankfully, to a degree, but there's going to be days where it doesn't, and I think we need to prepare those guys for those opportunities as well, by opening up that offense a little bit more. But I'm asking for too much for Thibs right now, so
Yeah, I agree with opening up the offense. I'm just skeptical of how much it can really open up because I think you got to be willing to take those bad shots, and I don't know if a lot of people in this team are willing to take those bad shots. Aside from like Quickly and RJ and of course Randall and Brunson, but it's definitely a conversation to be had either way.
wow, okay. I'm looking online.
The
We are
Bucks
not
are
the only team to blow a whatever point lead in like less than 50 seconds.
Bucks are hilarious
They
tonight.
blew a 11-point lead with 40 seconds, and it's going to overtime.
Giannis has like damn near a quadruple double. He has 10 turnovers. Okay, this game is nuts. But
Well, I mean, this takes between this and Donovan Mitchell doing the free throw thing that Luca did. I think it takes all the heat off the Knicks what they did. Like, I
Yeah,
think
we
that is like long gone. Like, I hope everyone forgot that. Like, because
as soon as that 71, like Donovan Mitchell dropped 71 points, we were clear. Nobody's focused on that. The league has been dropping too many points for everybody to be focused on that still.
hopefully, but yeah, I mean, back to the Knicks. They're not blowing. They didn't blow a lead today, so thankfully we don't have to talk about that. But yeah, I mean, I actually wrote notes for today's game, which I haven't done in a while. Let me see what I had in my notes. Oh yeah, one big issue today. Woof. The bench desperately misses like the RJ OB. Oh, and we have Schwinn joining us. But yeah, hey Schwinn. But yeah, I was saying the bench, they definitely missed the OB and the RJ staggering points of it. Because like today we got demolished on the bench points. Like I don't know what it was, but at one point it was like 51 to like 18 bench points. The Spurs were absolutely killing it. I mean, they had guys Josh Richardson, Zach Collins, and Doug McDermott single-handedly like washed us.
Can we just get rid of Isaiah Hartenstein, please? Like, I don't know if you watch his minutes back. Go watch his minutes. Go watch his minutes when he came in the first quarter because Mitch decided to play like a fucking moron today. Just watch all of the Spurs possessions and watch every single time. As soon as he checked in, every single possession, they put him in a screen and roll of some kind. Dribble handoff, an actual pick and roll, whatever it was. They put him in a screening action, and he just doesn't have any impact. He has no impact. I don't care what his fucking defensive field goal percentage allowed at the rim is. He has no impact. And even when he contests a shot, you count how many times he contests a shot, the guy misses, and his man somehow gets in front of him for a fucking rebound. He had one today where he helped on a drive. Okay, he contests the shot goes up. He just turns around. I think it was either Zach Collins or Jakob Poeltl, got the offensive rebound, and Hartenstein literally just watches. He just watches, and meanwhile, Deuce somehow gets over there and tries to contest the shot. I think he ended up fouling him, so he had to make free throws. But it was like he has his reaction time is awful. I don't care. Maybe Tibbs is fucking ruining everything about him that's good because of how he's using it on both ends of the floor. But like, I can't watch this guy. He's so soft. He commits the dumbest fouls. He had a fucking play today where he got the ball wide open under the rim after Brunson stole it off that weird ass rebound thing, and he almost kicked it out when he had Josh Richardson on him. He almost kicked it out. Thank God he put up a shot. He actually took free throws. I think he made both even. But like he just consistently makes the dumbest possible plays at all times, and I flat out I don't care if Jericho Sims he struggles at times with rim protection, blah blah blah. I don't care. He's better. He fits this team better. I think you see a massive difference when he runs a pick and roll with somebody like a Quickly or a Brunson versus when they run it with Hartenstein, because Hartenstein only rolls for that dumbass fucking floater that he likes taking.
He never hits, by the way. Like that
who cares? He takes 3 a game. You're gonna praise that? I don't give a shit.
I said he never hits it.
Oh, good job, Tyrese. Rare W. But I can't watch him. And then the other problem is when Julius has a Space Cadet defensive game like he did today, if Mitch isn't with it, which he was not with it today, Hartenstein cannot cover for that at all. He cannot cover for it. And he thank God Tibbs, had his come to Jesus moment, found religion and played Sims instead of fucking Hartenstein to close the game, because there's no chance we win that shit with that fucking idiot playing center. But Sims, I thought he struggled a bit defensively at times, but down the stretch he came up big. Julius dialed it up just enough in the nick of time defensively. I don't know what the hell Brunson and him were doing for most of the night on defense, but at the same time, apparently they're the only people allowed to touch the ball on offense. So
I was just speaking to Tyrese about that, about how we should open up the offense more, because we've seen what these guys can do, and they're much more capable of doing. They're capable of doing much more than just standing in the corner.
Quickly took
And
27 shots against this team last week and scored 36 points. And
Yeah.
today, the only time he was allowed to like create offense, guess what? He scored like 3 out of 4 buckets. I think he got fouled on the one shot that he had at the rim that rimmed out. But like why are you not enabling these guys to do more? Grimes played 36 minutes and took 8 shots, and he was 5 of 8 for 13 points. Like, what the hell?
And like we saw in the fourth quarter, I was telling Tyrese too. I was like, in the fourth quarter, it became super ISO heavy with JB and Randall, and like thankfully it worked today. But like some nights it just doesn't work because either one of them doesn't have it going, and we need to like prepare those other guys for like those opportunities to like be able to create in those in those moments.
Yeah, I just, man, I am not. I don't want to do the tips thing. I can't do the tips thing anymore. But like, it is really impossible for me to watch these fucking fourth quarters. I mean, this idea that you had like everything in the fourth quarter has to become this slow down, dribble it out, ISO is absolute nonsense. Like, well, look at what the Spurs are doing to us. And okay, we don't have a Doug McDermott, and I don't think Quentin Grimes is that level of, movement shooter, right? But like, we don't even know. We don't even know because we never try it. We never put him in a position where it's like, hey, and I don't get it because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. We did that a lot with Fournier last year.
We did.
So why can you not try doing that shit for Quentin Grimes? Like, I cannot say enough about guys like Grimes and Quickly and their compete level when they are so restricted in what they can do offensively. I don't think like it is so hard to stay locked in and not just stay locked in, but really play with the effort and energy that they do consistently on defense. And like, I don't even think Grimes had a really good defensive game today. I thought, I mean, this to me was like a very much, maybe they're just talking about the Spurs that our guys struggle with, but like aside from Quickly, I really did not think anybody was particularly good on defense, like as a collective team unit. Although I guess like Sims again and Randall, they dialed it up just in the nick of time down the stretch. And Grimes obviously had that great play to close the game out, right, on Keldon Johnson. But like I don't even mind that you have some slippage on defense in moments like this. So like they are a weird team to cover. Like Doug McDermott has always been an annoying player to cover because he literally doesn't stop moving. But like the offense, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm happy we have Brunson because he makes that shit work. But that was brutal down the stretch in the fourth quarter, I thought.
Yeah,
it just was not fun to watch. There wasn't really a lot of plans. It was just the whole of let him cook offense, and when it works, it's great, but it doesn't work as much given the personnel. And
how many assists did we have today as a team? 14, I think.
19.
That's
like absolutely ridiculous. You cannot have 19 assists on, I think, 42 made shots
against the worst. Like they're literally the worst defense in the league, I think, right?
Basically,
they're down there. Yeah, they're not Houston, but like they're down there.
Oh my god, man, that is Houston is just. We shot like absolute piss against them. We had 108 points.
Yeah, like a decent shooting night against Houston, they put up 150. But like, yeah, the lack of ball movement is definitely a problem. But yeah, 16 assists on 45 made shots.
Wow, 16. Ouch.
And they shot 48% from the field, so it's not like they weren't shooting well either. Like they straight up, it was just ISO. It was ISO and pull-up jumpers and get your offense off. I wonder how many of those 16 assists went to bigs as well.
Probably a ton of them. I mean, they mainly made the most of the assists came from Brunson and IQ. So it was probably like short rolls, like to like Hartenstein or like Randall, cuts to like Grimes when he was cutting, stuff like that. So, a lot of stuff going to the basket. It's time for everyone's favorite part of these shows. So let me.
Tyrese leaves. Is that the best part?
No. It's time for the ad read. Everyone's favorite part that everyone loves to skip through on the day after. The NBA season is heating up. When I'm looking to get in on the action, I bet with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can bet just $5 pregame money line on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to a 100% boost with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same-game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, total rebounds, and much more. The more legs you add, the bigger the boost, the bigger your shot to win big. Download the app now. Sign up with code TBPN. Place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code TBPN. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right. So let's get to some comments. They'll help guide our conversation as we, roll through these. S. Arthur says, in his 5th season, Mitch has to win these matchups. Awful game by him.
Yeah, I agree. It was rough from him. Like, I know Jakob Poeltl is like the league's best kept secret for analytics, but at the same time, like, you should be more effective than only being able to play 13 minutes because you're in foul trouble. And he's been good at limiting these recently. Like, he hasn't had as many of these games, but it just sucks that it had to happen against this level of competition. If it happens against like a better center, then I would understand it. But it can't happen against Jakob Poeltl and the Spurs.
I mean, he just sunned DeAndre Ayton the other day.
Exactly. Like, you can't go from sunning DeAndre Ayton and tweeting about it and making TikToks about it to getting beat up by Jakob Poeltl twice in a week.
The thing is, tonight though, like it was bad, but like it wasn't bad in the ways that it's like he didn't even have a chance to play bad. You know what I mean? Like,
he was like out of the game for so long.
Yeah, and to be fair to him, I thought the second foul he picked up was total bullshit. That was a clean block. I think that was Keldon Johnson. He might be one of the most annoying players nobody talks about in the NBA. This guy spent the entire fucking game crying, just absolutely crying and bitching and moaning. Did you see that close up of him bitching about that out of bounds call on the bench?
Yeah, he was like jumping up and down and shit like that.
Get this fucking loser out of here, man. Good Lord. I regret ever wanting to trade for him. He is such a fucking tool. Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, I thought Mitch, like, look, I'm with you. You can't, he's too good and he's too valuable to us to have a game like this. But I think it's like, it says something about the talent level of this team that one, they did not take the Spurs seriously. That was very obvious throughout the game. That they can get, I think, what was a bad game from Julius. I know he scored, but not even efficiently today. I thought he made bad decisions offensively. He was not locked in on defense. He decided that the leading scorer of the Spurs is somebody that he should not bother defending for about 45 minutes of the game, which was an interesting choice to put him on their best scorer. Like, Randall played terribly. I thought Brunson's defense was atrocious. Obviously, he has a great offensive game. We talked about the offensive issues with like not getting other guys involved. I like I mentioned before, I really didn't think anybody other than Quickly played very well defensively, and even he had some fuck ups, which I think I would like to go back and watch some of them because I noticed Evan Fournier's involvement on more than a couple.
Yeah, I was just about to say Evan Fournier's minutes tonight were rough, man. I was about to like start retweeting tweets from last year that had Evan Fournier like trade ideas and shit.
He fucked up so many screening actions today with Quickly. It was ridiculous to watch. But like they won the game. And like the fact that they can do that, again, getting nothing from their starting center, basically nothing from the bench, and RJ out and Obi still out, like that is fucking nice. But yeah, I mean, look, when Obi gets back, they've got some serious decision. They got to make a serious decision there because I just can't see how anybody watching this team right now thinks Isaiah Hartenstein is doing anything that is of value to us. And we can and people can disagree on what those reasons might be. Like, Tibbs is misusing him or he just sucks. Whatever. It doesn't really matter.
I think that excuse is like played out at this point. Like,
I do too.
He's got to adjust to like what the team is doing at this point. It's like what game almost game 40 halfway through the season. Like, you got to adjust to what your role is. Like, if it's not what you signed up for, then like just ask to sit out and work out a trade and.
I'm just saying, man. I'm telling you, like between Hartenstein, Rose is expiring, and Reddish is expiring. that's enough salary to like go get somebody that is legit. Maybe it's a player that's overpriced on another team that they don't want anymore, but like that can get you somebody legit, I think. And obviously they got all these protected first. Like I don't know what the hell they're planning on doing with them. I think it's fair to say that those protected first aren't going to move the needle for a superstar, but they can move the needle in a situation like this. I don't know. I would like for them to do something with that, and I do think they need another wing. Obi coming back will be helpful because I can't watch any of this Hartenstein Sim stuff anymore. It was a fun little experiment, but like obviously it does not work over a longer sample offensively. Brunson, thank God Tibbs staggered in the second half and had Brunson play with them because that made those minutes a little bit more palatable. But like, if I got to watch quickly and Deuce with those guys anymore, and like anytime they drive and then there's nowhere to go, it's just I don't even know what to say. It's just really frustrating. But like, look, I'm happy the Knicks won, but they got RJ. I don't care if this fucking guy's finger isn't healed by Friday or whatever. I don't know. Like I cannot. We can't run we're running dudes into the ground. Quickly played the entire second half, if I remember correctly. Grimes played 36 minutes. Like, and I get like Deuce. Like I don't even know what to say about Deuce because I get that he's not being aggressive enough offensively or whatever, but like he didn't even get to do anything today. Like I don't know.
Minutes.
Like, yeah, I just don't understand that. I think it would have been okay to play him a few more minutes. But like, look, it is what it is. I don't know. We just need RJ to get back. We need Obi to get back. And I think we still could use a trade for another wing very, very desperately.
Terry's any wings on the mind?
Doug McDermott is coming.
He would be great. I would love. I forgot how much I loved him.
Yeah, I honestly think Doug McDermott would help a lot. Maybe not defensively, but like they need somebody who can straight up just score the basket at this point. Like quickly needs a release valve. I think in that bench unit. And
he's especially like really good at drive and kick quickly. I think he's easily our best drive and kick player. So like I think we just need somebody that he can kick to. Like that's basically what you need, right?
Yeah, because he's kicking to like
Deuce
and Hartenstein. He kicked to Hartenstein in the corner today. And did you see Hartenstein hold his pose? He held his pose.
That shit pisses me off, man. He holds the pose and it's like a straight like moonshot air ball. It's like Jesus, dude.
Yeah, I would honestly give him like Derrick Rose in a couple seconds. I don't think that Doug McDermott is going to get you anything. If not Doug McDermott, then like Josh Richardson. I think the Spurs could be a really good trade partner for this team.
I traded for Doug McDermott in 2K in my Knicks rebuild thread. I think I traded him for Julius Randle.
I know you were nasty. But yeah, like I think the Spurs actually have a couple players. If you want to get just real boring and fundamental, you can do like Amir Coffey or somebody like that.
I've been talking about Amir Coffey for a while. I think he's just like you just need an innings eater, right? Like you don't necessarily need somebody great. You just need somebody who's not like I would like somebody who can move. That would be nice. Like just move.
Does it move like molasses?
Yeah, that would be nice. I don't think. Yeah, plus like Amir Coffey's on a really good contract too. He's getting paid like $3 million for the next 2 years. So like he may legitimately be like a really solid piece. So yeah, I would do like an Amir Coffey would be nice. Plus he's not getting minutes.
Yeah, he's out of the rotation, right?
Yeah, like he's like a fringe rotation player where like he plays, but he usually plays if somebody's hurt.
Is Covington totally shot now? Because he's out of the rotation too, right?
I think they've been playing him as of late.
He's like
a little bit.
He's on the edge of being shot. But I also think that it's a matter of like he's just not playing either. But yeah, I think he's like in and out of the rotation essentially.
Yeah, they got to find a guy. They really, really need to. But I will say this: like, look, I have no idea what Emmanuel Quickley's minutes are going to look like when RJ gets back. I hope they're not as stupid as they were right before RJ got injured. But like, I like the fact that he's getting a chance to play a lot, and he keeps showing that regardless of what his ever-changing role is, he just finds ways to help you win ball games.
He's got that midi going now.
Yeah. He had the two of them in the second half that I thought were like the most confident I've seen him take that shot, and it wasn't the floater, right? It was a proper mid-range jumper. So that's huge for him. Like if he starts hitting that, I think it opens up so much shit. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the possibilities of what he can be become even more endless as we all imagine they can be. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I was talking to Tyrese last post game about like what Stibbs gonna do minutes wise when RJ comes back and like he has to balance IQ, Grimes, and RJ's minutes. Like you
He's really good at
can't.
that. He's really
Yeah,
good at it.
yeah. I mean, he did such a great job, but before the injury, like I mean, seeing what they can do now, given like the extra like room to grow and stuff like that, like how can you push them back into these roles where they're just like sitting in the corner, like hands open, waiting for a pass to shoot? Like, how can you just like push them back into those roles after seeing what they've done with expanded roles when RJ comes back? Like, don't you want to like release some of that like
Well, it's
usage on those guys?
I mean, I just cannot look at the use. I gotta look it up. I gotta look up what the usage splits were from when the new rotation happened. I'll do it once I shut the fuck up here. But like the usage splits are bananas, and it's not just like he has no ability to spread out usage because he calls a play out on every single fucking play, and each one apparently is some type of like elbow ISO post up thing for either Brunson or Randall or RJ when he's back. It's just I don't know. It's really crazy, and I just think it's like I don't know. I cannot like. It's like you're watching the Bulls offense. Okay, DeRozan's gonna get a shot. Okay, Levine's gonna get a shot, and then every now and then they both decide that it's okay if Vucevic gets a touch. Like why? Like we can hope for more, and we have the talent to do more. Like you have these dudes that are like actually versatile pieces, especially specifically in the cases of like quickly Grimes and Obi when he's healthy, that we just don't do anything to like really lean into that when Brunson, RJ, and Randall are all like healthy, or at least two of those three are healthy. We just don't do it. I don't know. I it's tough, man. I really don't understand the logic there. Again, I am trying very hard not to discuss the continued deployment of Tom Thibodeau. It is what it is. So I'm just gonna hope that gets better, because it is nice to see that like the shot distribution, like our shot chart, is actually better this year. Although today I think it was a little bit mid-range heavy, but that's probably because Brunson just had it going, so whatever.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, it's just like again with. I would struggle to say that we are doing a great job of maximizing what we have. I don't necessarily think that what Tibbs is doing is terrible offensively, but I don't think it's optimizing it or maximizing it or whatever. But like, it says something about the talent on this team that
It's very
with all that-
vanilla.
yeah, and it says something about the team that like even with all of that, they're basically a top 10 offense. Like that says something about the talent level of the roster, which people will always pretend is like this talentless sack of shit that is stuck in purgatory forever for some reason. None of the
It's the name. It's the name value of the guys. The guys' names don't have enough luster yet.
Yeah, I mean, I know
Which
that
is dumb.
I know
Like, I'm
I know that in
sorry,
Tyrese's mind though that Julius Randle will always have luster.
I was right. Cry.
Why aren't you on the screen?
Because I look horrible and I've been doing grad school work.
He is continuing his setup of his Julius Randle shrine.
The shrine is already anointed, dude. Got the LED lights behind it.
Is it like the Hey Arnold shrine?
Yes. just in the closet. Candles are lit. I wake up and I pray to it every morning. And it turns out my voodoo has worked. So, or maybe just the calendar. I don't know.
It is definitely the calendar. He likes odd years better than even years. So
Hey, man. I don't know, man. He's a Scorpio, isn't he? I don't know. That's how that shit works.
Who cares? Who cares what his sign is? About he's a Scorpio.
I don't know. That's how that shit works or something, dude.
Oh man. All right. So I mean, should we start talking about the matchup next game? Playing prison ball in Toronto.
I just want to mention this real quick.
Mhm.
These numbers are ridiculous, by the way.
Oh, you found the usage numbers?
Yeah. So if for the whole season, if
Mhm.
you look, in the minutes that Randall and Brunson play together, this is Randall 27.2 usage, Brunson 26.4 usage, RJ Barrett 25.2 usage. Okay, so that's basically around 78, 79 usage between those three.
Mhm.
Here's just numbers for various other guys. Evan Fournier and 100, they played 869 minutes together. Brunson and Randall. RJ has played 766 of those minutes with them. So here's just some other guys. Cam Reddish, 206 minutes, 13.8 usage. Evan Fournier, 157 minutes, 18.7 usage.
Wow.
Obi Toppin randomly, 52 minutes, 17.3 usage. Quentin Grimes, 422 minutes, a whopping 13 usage. Emmanuel Quickly, 182 minutes, a stellar 11.4 usage. Like this is not sustainable. This is not, or even if it's sustainable, you're not
You're not a
exploring-
contender. You're
Yeah,
not a
you're-
contender. You can't do this.
You're not exploring like all of the possible outcomes and potential ceiling, whatever you want to call it, for this team by operating this way. And I just hopefully I'm wrong and Tibbs has something up his sleeve, and now we're all going to come out and everybody's going to be slinging the ball around and the usage is going to be way more. Like, I just think this is, look, it is what it is. So it is, I mean, look, those numbers are crazy. So, and I would venture to guess, like, even if you take, I'll pull this up. All right. Brunson and RJ together. So all their minutes together, 836 minutes together, 25.8 usage for Brunson, 25.4 for RJ, 26.6 and 766 minutes for Randall. Here's the rest. Quentin Grimes, 12.8 usage, 353 minutes. Isaiah Hartenstein, 230 minutes, 11.5 usage. That doesn't really bother me because our centers just don't get usage. Cam Reddish, 191 minutes, 12.5 usage. Fournier, 169 minutes, 17.9 usage. Quickly, 131 minutes, 14.2 usage. Obi Toppin, 97 minutes, 17.9 usage. They're just every combination of two of these three guys, you just see that like nobody else gets to eat. If he has two of those three guys, nobody else gets to eat. This is RJ and Julius. Okay, they've played 856 minutes together. In 766 minutes with those two, Brunson 25.3 usage, RJ 25.4 usage, Julius 27.2 usage. Again, here we go. Evan Fournier, 161 minutes, 19.1 usage. Obi Toppin, 43 minutes, 17.3 usage. Quickly, 145, 13.7 usage. Quentin Grimes, 368 minutes, 12.9 usage. Cam Reddish, 199 minutes, 12.8 usage. Like, you're giving Grimes and Quickly like Mitchell Robinson level usage. I don't know what this like. I don't know how anybody thinks that this is the best we can hope for. It's bananas. I don't know. I'm just gonna say my piece and not mention what my conclusion is from all that. But I'm happy I'm happy the Knicks are winning ball games and that they will have a winning record.
Coach has to go. I'll say it. We haven't said it on here in a while. Me and Tyrese have like fully like left the Thibs conversation alone for forever because we just know that nothing is going to change of it. Like once that 8-game win streak happened, I think like that bought him the whole season. Honestly, like that brought him a get out of jail free card.
Brought him the whole like he's gonna have an all-star potentially too. They're still a top 10 team by like every metric that you could think of. Ultimately speaking, like
sadly,
there's just a ceiling to it. That's all.
Yeah, there's a ceiling to it, but ultimately speaking, like for the regular season,
yeah, it's fine.
And like we know that, but at the same time,
but like you're wondering what the front office, like how far ahead is their vision when like looking at this stuff? Because like they're seeing all this like success, but like do they think that it can be levied into like being further into the future? Like, is it something that can be sustainable? Does the front office think that?
I mean, at the same time though, like this is buying them time to make that decision, which is the whole point of it. Like if you're able to be like, we made the playoffs 2 times in 3 years, we have an all-star caliber player locked up under contract long term, and we have all these picks. Like the future situation, it looks great. The current situation looks great, and it's also a matter of just like they have all the pieces, and then they can make the move whenever they want to make the move.
They have the currency to make trades. I hate when people are like they're locked in because yeah, if you just look at a cap sheet, like sure they're locked in, but it's like obviously the trade market exists. And they have the raw tools still to like make a move, right? They still have opportunities in trade. So yeah, like I think there's a ceiling with this group. Even obviously, like, look, this is not like Tibbs isn't exactly the ceiling he's putting on this group isn't like restricting us from being a championship level team. I do think that this team could probably be. I think it could be a little more frisky than Tibbs is allowing it to be. But like to ultimately get to that championship type of level, they're gonna have to make a trade at some point. So that's the reality, no matter who the coach is or anything like that, right? I don't think anybody really disagrees with that.
Yeah, like at this point, you're just like, let's see how far he can take us, and maybe if you have like back-to-back first round losses, then like maybe you make a trade. But at this point, like he's winning in the regular season, and this team hasn't won in the regular season aside of 1 year for like a decade. So,
Tyrese, your favorite team in Brooklyn lost today.
The win streak is over.
But why do I have a favorite team in Brooklyn?
Finally.
Of
And it was to
things.
the Bulls?
Yeah.
The Bulls are an enigma, man. Like you give up 71 points to Donovan Mitchell, and then you come out and you break the Nets streak.
Hottest team in the NBA, right? They'd won 12 straight, was it?
12 straight.
It's so funny how they've won 12 straight, and as many people care about that in New York as do in Texas.
Yeah, like nobody cares about the Nets winning 12 straight, including me.
I don't know, dude. You've always identified as like such a passionate Brooklynite.
Am I Kristen? Like, what?
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
No, I am like. I still think we need a. So this is. I want to bring this up. I was talking to Jeremy Cohen about this, and and I know that you like OG Anunoby, and like that's fine. My thing is, I'm watching this team, like just the Knicks or whatever, right? And I watch it, and I'm like, okay, if you want to go get a higher usage wing, and if that's to replace Grimes or replace RJ or replace whoever, okay, we can talk about that. And like, I'm not suggesting the Knicks. I don't want the Knicks to do a trade for OG Anunoby, but I'm bringing this up because I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on this. What my argument was like, if they're committed to Brunson and Randall, which it does seem like they are committed to them in some capacity, I do think if you're bringing in a guy who ostensibly you're bringing in to help juice your offense up even more, I think it needs to be just a more high volume 3-point shooter, and a quick decision maker, which is like not what OG Anunoby is. Like he's not a super high volume 3-point shooter. I'm sure that Tyrese has watched him more than anybody here, and I don't know if he would push back on the idea that OG Anunoby is not exactly the quickest decision maker when he gets the ball.
OG Anunoby is a really good fourth option and needs to be treated as such. They've been trying to up his usage for 3 years, and it hasn't worked because he's just not that type of player. Like you don't want him taking shots off the dribble. You don't want him trying to like do anything from a creation standpoint because he's not that type of player.
Ask their fan base though, and he's the second coming of Kawhi.
So
Jesus Christ.
So what do you think about that? Because like if I were to just think like, look, this is not about do I want to keep Randall and Brunson forever? Like, I think it's safe to say that as things stand, it's likely those two would be here. So when I'm looking at like, okay, the center spot, we know they're not going to have a high usage guy there. Okay, they're just not. So you're talking about these two wing spots. When I look at how Brunson and Randall play, like even if you get a different coach who's got them zipping the ball around, just they're inherently going to take a lot of shots, right? But like they're also guys that play inside out, or ideally you want them playing inside out. Randall had some weird stretches where he decides to take like 15 threes or whatever, but you want him playing inside out. Do you think that like that's the accurate read, that you want those two wing guys to be not necessarily super dynamic on-ball shot creators? Obviously any shot creation is nice, but that it's better if those guys are regardless of what type of shot creator they are, or what level of shot creator they are, if they're high level, high volume 3-point shooting guys.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, you want guys just throwing up threes. Like you want whatever, like you want Ricky Year wiring Quentin Grimes, and then you want like somebody who's willing to take like 6 threes a game, just next to them. Like if McCall Bridges took more threes, that would be the ideal player that you want.
Yeah, I was supposed to say like a high level 3-and-D, like super high level 3-and-D guy.
Who can like do stuff off the dribble and who can like have stuff off the bounce and isn't just like contagious Caldwell Pope. You want somebody ideally who could like thread the needle between I'm capable of being like a creator at times, but I'm also able to just scale down and just hit threes and play defense.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like this is not. I know that Tyrese will take this way, but this is not a shot at Obi. But like, it's you look at how Devin Vassell has developed and just like his game. Like he'd be perfect as like another wing, even if it's not as a starter, right? Like even if you still had RJ and Grimes, having a third wing like Devin Vassell would be perfect for us. And I'm honestly still very surprised. I guess we knew that they had connections to Obi all throughout, but like I'm convinced that if Obi had gone before they picked, they were going to take Vassell. I really believe that.
Probably. And I think maybe this draft coming up is probably where they're gonna like take a swing at one of those. That
Jett Howard. It needs to be Jett Howard. I don't care.
Would you trade both of our picks for Devin Vassell?
No.
How about one and another one of our protected first?
Probably. I'm not trading both the picks of this draft because the draft is too deep.
Yeah, that's fair. I tend to agree with you based on nothing but what Prez DMs me every day.
Like. Literally, it's just me and Press talking about, oh, this guy could go round 1. Oh, wait, never mind. This guy's not going round 1 because, like, this draft is legitimately, like, you're going to find dudes in the second round who stick in the league for 10 years. And I'm not being, like, hyperbole about that, but this draft is loaded. You thought was good?
I think that's fair to say, too, because, like, most of the, like, as you can see with these last couple drafts, like, I mean, just look at where we have been drafting and look at the type of players that we've been able to acquire. So I think that's, like, a fair assumption to say, like, that's where the league is heading in terms of draft quality these next couple years, especially with, like, when's the double draft supposed to start happening? Like,
not happening.
It's not happening?
Yeah, that the G League Unite is not happening.
Oh, okay.
I would be shocked, unless that's, like, a CBA change, like, I would be shocked if that happens. Because like the G League United basically like the pathway to pro.
Bro, Trae Young is so ugly. Holy shit!
Where did that come from?
I'm just watching them.
Such a wild stray.
Just watching them play right now.
I mean, came out of nowhere. Like, I mean, like he does not make good decisions. Like, if we want to shut on Trae Young real quick, we can do that.
Dude,
like,
I would hate. Like, they got to trade him. I'm sorry. Like, he's awful to play with.
Yeah, nobody. Again, I think nobody likes him. His shots are like so.
He's regressed offensively. I mean, the numbers are still there, but like he's regressed offensively.
The thing, I think I buy the 3-point person. I don't think he's going to shoot better from 3. Right? He's not going to be what he's like at 30 right now. That'll come up, but he's never going to be Steph. Like, and that's like the way he plays. He actually needs to be Steph level of efficiency to justify how awful he is on defense. And how ball dominant he is. Like, I mean, I haven't watched them too much, but like, him and DeJounte aren't like palling around anymore, huh? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they were all buddy, fucking clowning the Rockets, and I feel like DeJounte's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know about this guy, but oh God, he's just such a miserable fucking loser.
I just feel like if you piss off everybody that you play with, and
the problem's you.
Yeah, like the problem is him. He's gonna get rid of 2 coaches in 5 years.
Dude says he's considering resigning. Like,
how do you make a coach resign?
He's not. Come on, let's be real. He's not going to resign because if he resigns, he doesn't get his money. He's just waiting for them to fire him. That's all it is. He knows the game. You know who I was thinking would be perfect as like a bench wing for us?
Who?
Alec Burks.
Yeah, we was talking about that the last post game. We was talking about Alec Burks. He's been killing it.
He's literally the villain. It's like he's passable on defense.
It's so obvious that they kept Rose to make Tibbs happy. But like he should have been the he should have been the guy that they dumped, because ultimately, like, the Pistons didn't do that trade for Burks, right? They did that trade because they wanted Dern. That's ultimately, like, because I know they were two separate trades. I feel like they're all connected.
They
Like
are.
the Kemba piece, and I think ultimately, like, that's what it was. So, God, again, not trying to look. Alec Burks would be nice. He'd also get played like 45 minutes a night, and
Yes, he would.
Yeah.
he would have started a point.
He was one of Thibs' favorite toys.
Yeah, he would have started at point when everybody got hurt too. So
Definitely.
I guess we'll just have to appreciate Mr. Burks from afar.
Yes, until the coach is gone.
We'll get him back next year.
Hopefully
the
that'd be
coach
awesome.
is gone.
Honestly, like, I'm telling, like, they can't trade for him obviously because of CBA rules, but he literally would be the perfect release valve for Quickly, and he's passable enough on defense to where
We know this because him and Quickly were fucking awesome together for 2 years. Like they were awesome together. You look at their efficiency numbers; they were basically at their best when they played off of each other.
Yes.
And I think, like, Burks as your second creator and bench units is fucking awesome, like, really awesome. And he would also, what Burks would help us do? You know what I have faith in Burks doing? He would consistently make free throws. That would be good.
Yeah.
Brings us to this comment by JL. Brunson shoot better than Mitch from the free throw line challenge. Very hard. Dude, he got so pissed on, like, those missed free throws. He just started, like, cursing, like, out loud at the free throw line.
He's like, I think he's like, it's not good, actually. He's in his own head about it. It's like, dude,
yeah,
you missed a couple free throws in a regular season game that, like, probably 3 months from now, nobody's gonna give.
He's acting like he missed free throws in, like, the NBA Finals, like Nick Anderson. Like, my guy, relax. It's
he keeps talking
December.
about it. He keeps talking about it. He said it today. He said it after the last game, right? He's like, "Oh, I missed too many free throws." It's like, dude, fucking chill, bro. Like,
he's gonna turn to Nick Anderson. He's gonna shoot like 56% from the rest of his career now.
Yeah, because he missed a couple free throws against DeMar DeRozan. Like, come on, dude.
I mean, like, I appreciate the fact that he's pissed about it, but at the same time, like, I feel like Brunson is one of the dudes who it absorbs him until he, like, gets better at it, which I don't know if that's good in this city, especially.
Vegeta-ass mindset. He's acting like Vegeta with the free throws. Like, relax, guy, relax.
Yeah, that's actually the perfect time for how he's been acting. He's basically just Vegeta level spite, where he's just, like, doing it. But yeah, like, they need a wing. Like, Austin Reeves would be nice.
Is he a free agent this summer?
Restricted free agent, unfortunately.
Well, the Lakers are cheap though, so.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
they don't like keeping good talent if they have to pay him.
I mean, at this point, the Knicks probably get LeBron.
Do you know what the Knicks should actually do? I'm not even joking. They should offer them Cam Reddish for Austin Reeves. I know LeBron would do that.
Yeah, he's clutch.
I think you'd do that. I would do that.
I would offer Cam Reddish for, like, a tuna sandwich and some hot Cheetos.
Tuna sandwich.
No, let's be real. If you were running the Knicks, you would assign Cam Reddish to the G League because you're spiteful.
Yeah, true. And Obi would have been there right with him.
All right.
Oh God.
Way to drag the joke, Tyrese.
We could trade for Chris Duarte.
You know what I
understand? He makes, like, all the old people jokes for Obi Toppin, but, like, Chris Duarte, who's like 75 years old, he has no smoke for him.
Who's like not even a particularly good shooter.
Okay, he was.
And he's like always in the hospital. Like, he's always in the hospital.
Hey,
look, maybe getting
ARP is expensive, dude.
Getting into a city, maybe with some more home cooking for him. Yeah, more Dominican food for him. Maybe that'll elevate his game to another level.
It'll be him and Prez in the Coquito slot.
Hug Life says the Bucks were giving Scotty Barnes the Ben Simmons treatment. If there was ever a time to unleash a zone, this is the game. Do the Knicks know how to unleash the zone?
I've never seen them play zone under Tibbs. Not once.
They're never going to do it.
I don't think that the Knicks know how to play zone. They know how to, like, shrink versus zone, but they don't know how to.
Forget Barnes. This today against the Spurs would have been the perfect, like,
many non-shooters out there.
Like Trey Jones, this guy does not want to shoot. He does not want to shoot threes at all. It was, like, hilarious watching him snake around pick and rolls like 15 times just to avoid shooting a three.
He was just gnashing all game. Like he would get 2 feet into the paint and go, nope, not doing it, and then back it out, and then go back in. It was just funny.
Yeah, I look. He's not a bad player, but yeah, I don't know if he looks like he'd be a good solid bench point guard for a lot of teams.
He's Deuce McBride, and Deuce McBride basically got the ball and played 30 minutes a night.
If Deuce McBride found his balls and started taking some shots, yeah. Like, this is the most annoying thing about Deuce. It's like, he's like, I do think he needs to get more minutes, but I also need him in those minutes to like
Shoot
not
the
look,
ball.
yeah, like
And
not
like
look so
shoot the
like,
ball with confidence.
yeah. I mean, I'm happy he made what 1-3 today, so good for him. But like,
he took 2 shots. So.
yeah, exactly. He's just got to shoot.
There was one game, I think it was the Rockets game, where he was like, there was a stretch where he went like 0 for like 8 or 0
He was
for
1
9.
for 10 in that game, I think. Yeah,
It was rough.
it's just like it's so weird to me that he like I get that a lot of NBA like shitty NBA players can go to the G League and light it up, but it's not that he's shooting poorly to me. It's like he goes to the G League and he's putting up like he's like LeBron James down there, and then he comes to like the big Knicks, and then it's like
he's playing like a timid mouse.
Yeah, he doesn't even want to shoot the ball. You're like, dude, just like you're a good shooter, shoot the fucking ball. And then it's like this is again, I've talked about this a lot in the pod recently, but like this is why I just don't care when people are like, well, Quickly's inconsistent shooting and Grimes passes up. Like, I'm like, dude, first of all, I appreciate the fact that Quickly will have a game where he goes 5 of 21 from the field.
Because it means like he's actually like trying to score. Like,
yeah,
he's
like
being aggressive. Like that's what you want him to do.
Yeah, and especially like when Brunson was out and RJ was out, you needed somebody to take shots. Of course, you want him to make more shots too, but like taking them is a huge part of the equation. And this is why like I know Tyrese loves to make fun of RJ and shit on him for some reason. But like there is a innate value of like a guy that's willing to have awful shooting nights. Like I don't know if Grimes is there yet. We saw him.
He's not.
He played great against Dallas, but then he had a bad shooting night the game after in San Antonio, and instead like he just stopped shooting. And I think Julius made an interesting comment after the game where they asked him about Quickly, and he was like, he said something like, I appreciate him basically like taking a bunch of shots. Like I'm happy he's stepping up and doing that. And I don't think he was like necessarily saying that to shit on Grimes or Deuce. I think he was genuinely just being complimenting Quickly, but in complimenting Quickly, like it says something. And I do think people undervalue that at times. With like, yes, it is frustrating when RJ will have a 7 of 10 game going and then somehow miss like 5 straight floaters in a row to ruin his shooting line. But like, you have to be willing to take those shots and live with those sequences. And, we have 4 guys on the team that are do that, but like, jury's out on Grimes and obviously Deuce and even Obi and other guys. Like, are they willing to just get the volume up? Which, look, we've criticized Tibbs a lot here for the lack of opportunities for other guys, but maybe that's part of it. Who knows?
Could be, but I'm not going to give Tibbs the benefit of the doubt because.
Oh, I know you. I know you won't, Sam.
No, I definitely won't. Definitely won't. Fuck that guy. Virgil X asks us to comment on the minute load. I think we have in like various points that we have commented on the minute load. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous, but I mean, like, it's also like a point of like, I mean, I'm not gonna like once again, I'm not gonna give Tibbs the benefit of the doubt, saying like, oh, these guys aren't being aggressive enough to like warrant the minutes, but it's like you got to give guys a break. Like, you can't run guys into the ground. Like, you just can't do that.
Quickly, I want to see like like all these teams, sports teams, right? They have like their own internal data of like guys' workload and shit. I would love to see how. I would like to see what Quickly's like workload and all that type of shit is, and
like
Grimes.
How many miles he's traveled.
Yeah, not just
shit like
but
that.
like they track like heart rate and all this kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
But I would also just love to see like what because they teams always do like internal like 40 times shuttle times, all that type of bullshit. I would love to see what the Knicks are. Because I watch Grimes and Quickly, and I'm like, these dudes don't touch the ball on offense, and yet somehow are running all the time. Like, I don't understand it at all. But like quickly played 44 minutes tonight. He didn't look gassed at the end of the game.
No.
He played 51 against Dallas, and the next game when everybody else in the team basically just couldn't apparently bother to do anything on defense, and then most of them also did nothing on offense aside from him and Julius. Like he was going balls out the entire time. I just his work rate is bananas, man. It really is crazy.
That's called being fueled by the Lord. My man goes to Sunday service and he gets a strength for a week.
Oh my god.
Let's see what other comments we got here.
Amen.
Jordan Bub says only 5 teams are top 11 in offensive and defensive efficiency. These teams are the Celtics, Nets, Cavaliers, Pelicans, and Knicks.
Knicks are top 10 in both. I just checked the Knicks are top 10 in both. So
yeah.
Okay.
Defense came down a little bit today, but the offense picked up. So we're good.
I think it stayed stable actually. I think the defense stayed at 9.
Oh, nice. So technically, usually like the bare minimum threshold to be a contender is top 10 in both. So you heard it here first, guys. The Knicks are a genuine contender.
We are here finally.
I mean, they're top 8. They're tied for 7th with the Phoenix Suns in net rating.
I mean, the Suns, they're absolutely like free falling because Devin Booker is like their Lord and Savior. But
they held the Cavs to 90 points today and lost.
Chris Paul for that. Chris Paul turned back the hands of time, and they're still losing. So like,
by the way, my hot take is I think this Mobley Jared Allen thing is actually a huge problem for the Cavs. Their offense doesn't work.
Well, I mean, this year, like, Mobley is just like not hitting like the shots he was hitting last year. Yeah, like that was the big thing for them. Like Mobley was like super great for them last year, and like he's not this year. And, yeah,
I don't know. He's obviously a great talent, but like he's not a great player yet. But I just don't think long term. Like I don't really understand how Mobley Allen works together. Ideally, especially like. It's a weird thing though because they almost need those guys because I know that Donovan Mitchell's trying on defense now, but like he's still not a good defender. Garland is not a good defender. Their threes are just a random like conglomerate of wing-sized people who aren't good.
Wing-sized people.
Yeah.
Okoro, Lamar Stevens, Chetty Osman.
And look, that's obviously yeah. Okay, I mean, look, that obviously is the hit.
Chetty Osman is good. Relax.
He is good, but he's like not. They need a high volume 3-point shooter at that spot, and like Osman isn't that guy. He's not a particularly great shooter either. But like they just I don't know. They really that's the risk, and that's obviously what you have to be willing to do when you trade for Donovan Mitchell, like which I still think was a really good move for them. But like their depth is obviously depleted, and their big offseason move was like Rubio, who hasn't even played.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Ricky Rubio with like their best acquisition this offseason? Like,
yeah, he hasn't played, and I think they have to trade LeVert. I don't even understand how that works, but like, I mean, is Garland just injury prone? Can we talk about that? Is Garland injury prone? Because I feel like
he was coming into the league.
Yeah,
he sort of was.
I think he tear his ACL essentially and only played like 5 games, and then he had like
yeah.
So like the injuries are there, but the talent's undeniable. Like Garland being injured might get Jalen Brunson into the All-Star game, for being honest.
I will not complain.
I mean, I think Brunson should be there anyway. I think
Brandel and Brunson should both be there. But
we know that you think. I know that I actually agree with you at this point. But like Randall could do, he could play like he did last year, and you'd be like, he should be an All-Star, bro.
No. Okay. All right, man. All right. Can we not leave last year in the past?
Hey, I'm. You see what I've been tweeting about Julius, man.
I know.
I've had nothing negative to say on the post game.
You said his name, which I'm proud of you for that one. That's gross.
Look, even when he had a bad game today, and I'm not that pissed about it because
like there were so many other things that were an issue, and he wasn't the biggest one.
Yeah, and he's played well. So like, I'm not.
He's kind of earned a pass.
Yeah, nobody plays look, even like fucking peak LeBron James had individual games where he didn't play well, right? Like that's just basketball. So, okay, he had a bad game, but you know what? He found a way to help us win in the end. He took ownership of the fact that he had a bad game, and that's all I really can expect from him. I'm not gonna I know he had that ridiculous that possession was so crazy. He had it quickly wide open in the corner, and then
and decided to
force some idiotic pass to Jericho. I don't know. He made 2 bad plays on the stretch, but defensively he locked in. So I'm not gonna. I won't kill him. I would like if Julius Randle can remember how to make free throws again. That would be great.
That would be nice. I don't know what's been going on.
This team has an illness.
So last year, so Garland first year was the weird COVID year. So I think they played let's see, they played. Cleveland played 65 games. He played 59 of 65. But 2020-21, he played 54 of 72. 2021-22, he played 68 of 82. This year, he's played 30 of 39. So he's a guy who misses 15, 20 games pretty much every year. He's going to miss 15, 20 games every year. That's interesting. I wonder if that's, there are guys who've been injury prone early in their careers and grow out of it. I wonder if he can do that. But that's it. That's definitely, they got a lot going on. They're an interesting team.
They're a team that I feel like they need to make it work to justify everything. And I think they will make it work because ultimately speaking, Donovan Mitchell was worth whatever they acquired. But it's a weird team. They're a very weird team. Kevin Love is their best bench player. I don't know how sustainable that is.
Yeah. I think this is why I didn't think there were people that are they're going to be a contender immediately. And I didn't agree with that because I think they just don't have the depth. But they're going to have to figure out how to do this stuff in trade, which will be interesting because they also don't have picks to deal now. So I wonder what they're going to do. This is why I ultimately think they're going to end up trading Jared Allen at some point, maybe a year or two down the line, because he can net you value and help you put probably better fitting pieces on the wing around what you have. But I don't think Mobley's defense throughout his career, obviously he's got crazy potential, but I don't think the team has performed very well or nearly as well defensively when he's on without Jared Allen. When we played them at the Garden this year, I know we only scored 92 points, but I think Allen was out that game. And in general, when I've watched them, I feel like it's noticeable that himself and the team are not as effective when he has to play without Jared Allen.
Honestly, do you trade Mobley and just keep Allen?
Depends.
Allen's contract is good, man. It's so solid.
It's just Mobley's such a talent, though. You would need a haul to trade him, probably.
Yeah, and I think you could I think a lot of teams would justify trading a haul for Evan Mobley, and I think at that point, I would honestly make it work with with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, even though Evan Mobley is such a really good talent, especially with his passing. But I don't think he's taking the leap that I think a lot of people thought he was going to take coming into year two.
It's just too much to put on. I don't like expecting a second-year player hey, dude, we made this huge trade, so guess what? Now you have to be a star. I doubt that's just such a ridiculous standard to hold somebody to. It's also why I didn't love the fucking Rudy Gobert trade, right? It's okay, guess what, Anthony Edwards, you have to be Michael Jordan now.
You have to be the leader.
Yeah, what? He's a third-year player. He's 21. This guy's fucking saying inappropriate shit still on fucking Snapchat or whatever. He's clearly still maturing in a lot of ways. So expecting him to just come in and be all right, dude, just be Michael Jordan. That's all we need. Also, you're going to play with Kat and Rudy Gobert, two real inspiring people. It's crazy to put that on these guys this young. It's wild to me.
The fact that he's at 67 true shooting or 57 true shooting, putting up the numbers he's putting up is nuts.
Yeah, but you know what, Tyrese? I would definitely consider taking Tyrese Halliburton over him.
Get the fuck out of here. Don't piss me off, man. Are you kidding? Tyrese Halliburton, dude. I've already said my piece on Tyrese Halliburton.
I'm so surprised Tyrese doesn't like someone with the same name as
him. How mad are you that he has the same name as you?
Disgusted. At least Tyrese Maxey's better. But come on, man. Tyrese Halliburton is playing in a 5-out offense and just throwing a bunch of shovel passes to dudes who can do stuff with the
shovel passes.
No, some of the things he gets an assist for are. Does he? he's like a fucking NFT, dude. He's just a fucking NFT. He's not real. He's so.
He does not create the advantages that 11 assists would tell you he creates.
I will say
Wally wishes he could join us for this portion of the show.
Look, I will say this. I respect his hustle though of like, parlaying Wally Zerbiak being mean to him into getting a chance to sit down with Taylor Rooks. So
I would
yeah, I mean that's respect right there.
Yeah, that's a good hustle. I do respect that move. Don't we all wish we could just set up a sit down with Taylor Rooks? I know Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are still very uncomfortably sitting when they're near her. That's one of the funniest interviews I think I've ever watched. Do you know what Jaylen Brown said in that interview?
What did he say?
He said something like, "We're gonna win like 7 straight championships." Or something like that. And I'm just like, I remember like listening to that. And I'm like, dude, yo, I know how like you're sitting there real uncomfortable in your basketball shorts, but relax, dude. Relax.
7 straight is hilarious. Oh my god.
I don't blame him given the fact Taylor Rooks there. I'll be saying some stupid stuff too.
I mean, I don't blame him either. It was so funny. Like there's that, and then there's the
John Morant thing in front of Malika Andrews, where he's like, I don't got a problem with anyone in the West.
Or you put yourself there was a hit list the entire West.
And the West been just smacking them around ever since then.
Yeah, but he's just such a he's just so streetwise.
He's
so cool.
So real.
He's so
beating
cool.
up. He's beating up like 15-year-olds. You saw that, right? That story?
Allegedly.
Oh my god, man. What a joke.
Yeah, no, but I think Brunson should make it over Tyrese Halliburton. I had no problem with Wally saying that. And I don't think, I don't care how many assists he gets. I don't care when he has a random 40-point game. You're never going to convince me that guy is the level of offensive weapon that Brunson is. And Halliburton's defense sucks. So it's not like he's giving you this tremendous defensive value that you're not getting from Brunson. Like, yeah, I know Brunson has defensive issues for sure. But I think ultimately, when you're talking about creating offense, Brunson is just on another level to Halliburton.
Yeah, it's not even close offensively. Like that game down the stretch where Brunson basically takes 3 tough shots in a row with Jeremy Sohan on him, who for all of his weird free throw shooting and offensive play is a very good defender. Like the fact that he basically took 3 of those shots in a row in the same spot, and the defense knew it was coming, and he still did it, and it all went in. Tyrese Halliburton's not doing that stuff. We saw him down the stretch. He ran from the shots.
He is never breaking Keldon Johnson's ankles the way that Brunson did.
He's never gonna frustrate the entire league the way Brunson could just shake around people and just get people up in the air and just piss people off. Halliburton's never gonna be able to do that.
I think Brunson actually. We were talking about this in the Discord during the game. There are actually times where I think he doesn't realize until too late that he's actually already created an opening for himself.
He'll do an extra move sometimes.
Yeah, and he'll actually move back into the defender by accident. It's hilarious. I've seen him do this multiple times, and I'm just like, wait, what are you doing?
He did it early in the game when he shifted. Yeah. I forgot. I think it was Keldon Johnson or something.
Yep.
Or Jeremy Sohan. Where he shifted him and he bumped back into him, and I was like, "What are you doing, guy? You already had an opening."
Yeah, I need IQ to go live with Jalen Brunson this offseason. That's what I need.
Oh, develop all this footwork. Oof, that would
him and RJ. RJ should too, because RJ is really good at bullying his guy in the post, but then he has no
footwork
sauce down there at all.
No,
he doesn't
footwork.
have sauce anyway to begin with. But yeah, his footwork in the post is pretty meh. Randall has some interesting footwork in the post.
All right, I'm deciding which one of these should be our last comment for the day. We have Virgil X who says, "What's the deal with Grimes in late game situations?" But we also have Kobe who asks, "Does Sims have the best combo of lateral quickness and vertical leap of any center in the league?" That's a very vast landscape right there.
No.
Who would you say has better lateral quickness and vertical leap? The combination of both.
I mean, like, I have to think about that. Like,
Would you say Nicholas Claxton this year? He's been
yeah,
crazy defensively.
yeah, you probably say Claxton. I think you could maybe. I don't want to say Bam, not Bam. No. I mean, he's up there. He's definitely up there. But like,
Yeah, he is for sure. He just has to get more disciplined, I think. But
yeah,
other than that, he does definitely have that lateral quickness and vertical leap down. I mean, this guy's jumping and he's like has to duck around the rim so he doesn't get hit in the head. Like, it's insane.
yeah, that's a good
And
Robert
lateral
Williams.
quickness too. I mean,
Robert
like,
Williams. Robert Williams. There we go.
and with the lateral quickness too. I mean, we saw in the game versus the Nuggets, like he was able to stay with Jamal Murray on the perimeter.
They need to switch him more. Like some of the stuff with McDermott in the fourth quarter where he was killing us going off these screens. I'm just watching. Like I think he did bring in Sims, and Sims did do a better job covering those. But I would like him to just have Sims show way higher because he's not a great rim protector. Like he's got his wingspan isn't that great. He doesn't get as vertical when he's backpedaling. So like he's got some issues as a drop defender, but like what he is, I mean, he's a freak. Like he is a fucking absolute freak. He moves like a wing on the perimeter. Use that like that. You need to use that more when you have him out there. So
he reminds me of Kevon Looney because Kevon Looney's really able to like stay with guards on the perimeter a lot. Weirdly, even though he has like the hips of a 98-year-old woman.
Respect Kevin Looney.
I do, but like he moves like a grandmother. But yeah, he reminds me of Kevon Looney on the perimeter.
Grandma's catching strays on this post game.
But shout out to Kobe. That was a really good question. It made us, think about, players around the league and how they compare to Sims. So shout out to Kobe for that one. Looks like a new name. I haven't seen you in the streams before. Is this Kobe White? Are you watching after demolishing the Nets?
Get a hobby.
Ahmed.
I think on that note, we will end off today's stream. Shout out to everyone that tuned in, left a comment. We tried to get to as many as possible. Everything Strickland related is in the description. We got links to the merch site, Twitter, and Patreon. We also on Instagram at thestrick.land. Just another way to keep up with us, another way to follow us, another way to, tune into Strickland related content. And yeah, I think that's it. We'll be back on Friday after the Raptors game where we will be playing a version of prison ball over there in Canada. So tune in after that game. We will be back talking about the Knicks hopefully getting another win and extending the streak to, what is it, 4 it would be?
For our second 4-game winning streak of the season.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and they're 11-5 in their last 16. It's been a very weird way to get 11-5, but
yeah,
I mean that's pretty fucking impressive. That's like
also
that's a 50+ win rate over that time. Yeah. So yeah.
Also, by the way, Patrick Williams hoops tonight, and the agenda grows. That's it.
Oh yeah, he's somebody I would not mind the Knicks looking to take a punt on if possible.
Hey, I mean those Bulls projects, they have been booming across the league.
Great development organization.
Truly.
But yeah, I mean, we'll be back on Friday. Thank you all for tuning in, and we're out of here. Peace.